Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. We are live. We really are live this time. We on shoot. I just don't even know how to start this podcast. We on this. We on that. We doing this. The Craft Man's with me. What's going on, Craft Man?
Same old, man. Just ready to talk this recap with you guys.
Yep. A lot of things went down. Week 13, playoffs are near. Crazy things happening in some matchups with me. C Swizzy, what's going on, man?
What up? Craig over there looking kind of grizzly, man. Freaking me out.
Craig, how'd your Bears do yesterday?
They lost to Impact, baby.
That dude Craig is pissed. Look at his emotions. On cold. But yeah, man. Shoot, man. Real quick. We'll just slide through this real quick. Man, we're on YouTube now. We're on Twitch. We're on Instagram, straight flexing. It's going down in the Discord. Man, Chris, just go ahead and just take over, man. I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah, so right now, what you can start doing on Twitch, it's gonna live stream this video. This is us actually doing it. This is live right here of us recording this podcast.
We've made it big time.
So if you want to be the first people to hear it, get on here. You can interact with us. I've got something ahead. I can literally see your, all your, like your messages and stuff like that. Interact. If you can't catch it, there's going to be a new place that you can now get it. Our YouTube channel is now up, which this VOD will be edited a little bit and thrown right onto YouTube every time it comes out. So this is just another way for you to access it.
Yeah, man. Well, watch us on YouTube if you want to see our faces. I just shaved my head just for this occasion. Just for I'm trying to look like Kraft. You know, back in the day, people used to say me and Kraft looked alike. You remember that, Kraft man?
I remember that. We don't look alike no more.
Nah, I done got old and ugly and shit.
Same.
But yeah, man, we just gonna recap this week 13. But one more thing, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Go add the Craft Man on Twitter. Let's go.
Hey, that's the biggest news of the day. Hashtag CraftManPackFan on Twitter.
I got a lot of stuff to start putting down there in that little description now, but man, I do think it's funny because it's like I was doing no social media. I'm 29, so we're talking like a lot of years. Now I'm on the poor man's on, and the Craft Man just got on. So we in these Twitter streets. Chris runs the Cruise podcast Twitter. So if you want to talk to Chris, man, just talk to that Twitter right there. It'll be Chris answering you. But yeah, man, shoot, let's just go ahead and break it down, man. We got any news for week 13? I know we didn't look too into detail. We just kind of went off the top of our heads. So the first one that comes to my mind is Jimmy G. He's out for the year with San Fran. There was a lot of rumors going around that they might get Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield just got released from the Panthers, but they didn't go that route. But yeah, San Fran, I thought they was looking good for, I ain't gonna say a Super Bowl run, but maybe a deep playoff run. What you think, Kraft man?
Oh, Purdy, he didn't look too bad when he came in there, and I feel like that their offense, it's not totally based on quarterback play. They make it a little easy for the quarterback, so I think it might kill their Super Bowl chances, but as far as just being competitive and making a run in the playoffs, I still think they can do that. But it hurts. Right. Definitely hurts them.
Yeah, it went down early. If only they had Trey Lance right now. They'd be sitting good. Chris, you got anything to add to these 49ers?
I mean, from a fantasy perspective, high as fuck, man. Get my words mixed up. Fantasy perspective, I like this for CMC. Anybody that owns a CMC, they don't have a starting quarterback now. The starting quarterback likes to throw it to the dump off man. Christian McCaffrey is probably like the best dump off man in the NFL. So I think that his share's going to go through the roof, especially with Elijah Mitchell gone. I don't know about them contending at this point, but I mean that offense is stacked in the way that Kyle Shanahan runs that offense. Like y'all said, they don't really need a good quarterback. Their defense is fucking elite as all shit. But I just want to see it happen. See what happens.
I think when you get down to like backups like this, I think this could possibly be okay for maybe Kittle for a little bit. I think guys like Ayuk though, I feel like that might be a big blow to Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
I would say Debo too, maybe in the passing game, but Debo's still gonna get some carries and stuff, so maybe his ceiling ain't as high. Just things like that to look at, to whatever, just to think about with these 49ers. What's the other ones we got?
Yeah, I got Kenneth Walker got a strain in his foot, but Pete Carroll said he could play in Week 14. But out of all the coaches in the NFL, Pete Carroll, he said Chris Carson was going to play the week after his neck injury, which he never stepped on the field again. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
We gotta wait. We gotta wait for this one later in the week. And speaking of that, with Kenneth Walker, DJ Dallas has an ankle issue too. So, if you were looking to pick up the backup to start this week, you gotta be careful there too. So,
all them running backs for Seattle are hurt. Every one of them, I think. So,
I think Travis Homer is expected to play.
They just signed Wayne Gallman too.
What? From Clemson
wide receiver
University. Let's go. Man, ball so hard, man. You know what's funny, man, is that dude in the national championship and those years were so good at Clemson, man. He ain't done shit in the NFL, man.
I done got to the point where I'll point at people. I'm sitting there with my wife, and I'm like, where he went to college? I'll be like, babe, wide receiver, you.
Crap, did you even know he went to the wide receiver U?
Do I look like I care about the wide receiver U?
Yes.
I ain't got my dog shirt on tonight, but I still got black. I ain't got no orange.
I got black for the dogs too, man. Who else we got? I said a few more, but now I'm just blanking all of a sudden. What was the other injuries we got?
Lamar sprained. Got a sprained PCL. That's a 1 to 3 week injury. Huntley's
Shut it
not
down.
a bad backup, though.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely don't think this is bad for Mark Andrews because Mark Andrews was doing work with Huntley last season. If Baltimore had some wide receivers, I'd say this would be bad for them, but they ain't got none anyway, so might be okay for these running backs if they start playing, like if Dobbins actually plays, Gus Edwards, if he can, it might be okay for guys like that, maybe. But if I'm Lamar, I don't know what to think about this situation. 1 to 3 weeks. I don't know where they are in the playoff hunt right now. Where do they stand? They're in first place. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Lamar, you a bad.
Yeah, they've been under the radar because they hadn't been scoring, but their defense has been incredible since they made a couple signings. They're 8-4 right now with the Bengals. So,
yeah, I don't know, man. That one's just crazy to me. I was about to say, yeah, shut it down, but I didn't even know they was in first place. I need to pay attention to the NFL more. I could have named you any division leader except for that one. All right, then. Definitely, there was definitely one more I feel like I'm missing out on.
That's all I got.
All right, shoot. And if we missed it tonight, when we go through Week 14 stuff, we'll just hop on it then. Yeah, Kraft, man, this past Week 13, I got to shout out to the poor man because in that Average Joe's League, man, I just beat this dude P by .06. with 3 seconds left on Monday Night Football, I was like, this dude has got to be pissed. Because I was already pissed. Like, that matchup was like, on that Sunday, I go to bed that night, I got a 94% chance to win. I wake up, I'm just getting smacked by Phil. I'm like, what in the fuck just happened? This dude's got Tony Pollard going off and shit. And then I took the lead on him at the end of Monday Night Football. I was like, dang, what a matchup that was. That shit was crazy.
Rashad White did it for you.
Been saying stash him all year, man. I've been saying stash him all year. And it all paid off.
These rookies, man, these rookie running backs, James Cook, Rashad White, Kenneth Walker, I mean, they're all starting to make their imprint right here in the second half.
All right. Yeah. Agreed. So that was some crazy stuff. Man, real quick, just before we go through, how are y'all doing in y'all's fantasy leagues? I'm going to be in the playoffs in 2. There's 2 of them where I need to win this week and get in. The average Joes, I need to win and have just a little bit of help, but I think it can happen. Where you stand, Kraft?
Dude, I'm in 5 leagues. I'm in first place in one of them. Clinched the playoff spot in that one. The Dynasty we're in, I'm in, I think, 3rd. And then my other leagues, there's only one league where I think I ain't going to make the playoffs. And then the other 2, I'm sitting there right in the hunt, 7 and 6. 7 and 6 in both of them. It's just a whole bunch of different scenarios of if we're going to get in or not in those leagues.
Crazy, man. And Chris, I know you ain't in as many leagues this year, but you're definitely in the Cruise Dynasty podcast, or the Cruise Dynasty League. I call it my home league. This dude, Chris, is like one of the hottest teams in the league.
In the league that matters, I've looked at it. I've crunched numbers. I mean, I'm a lock for the playoffs, even if I lose this week, just due to my points. I'm 7 and 6. I'm at the 4 seed right now.
Yeah, I was on break at work, and I was crunching the numbers. I was like, shoot, our playoffs are set because my guy David, who doesn't care about points and stuff like that, is going to get killed in the tiebreaker. So he don't have a chance unless like somebody just goes out there and their whole team goose eggs or something crazy. But tiebreakers, man, they're killers, man. Because that's the thing in the Average Joe's League. I ain't winning no tiebreakers, so I need people to lose.
Yeah, them folks that got a lot of points, they're scary because if they're 6 and 7 and you're 7 and 6, you're just like, if they win and I lose, I'm just dropping.
Right, and yeah, man, it's crazy because I didn't make no moves in that league. I was just waiting for it all to hit, but it might be a little too late. But shoot, let's talk about these leaders, man. We'll start at the quarterback position. The number 1 quarterback on the year is Jalen Hurts, or on the week is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the number 2 quarterback on the year right now. Then it went Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Mahomes, Mike White, Brady, Prescott, Carr. Jalen Hurts, man, bad man. The dude's, like I said, he's the number 2 quarterback on the year. I always like to bring up where he's at in Dynasty or whatever. I mean, this dude, I'm pretty sure we had a debate maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. We was like saying Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert.
I think
y'all was all saying Hurts, weren't y'all? I was saying Herbert.
Everybody said Hurts but you. And so that pushed him to, 3? He was at 3 at that point.
So, dang, I mean, that definitely looks better now. There's no doubt about it. Joe Burrow, I seen he's the number 4 quarterback on the year right now. And at the beginning of the year, his ADP, when it rose to 4, I was saying, hell nah, I don't want to have nothing to do with that ADP at 4. Kind of proved me wrong. Well, he did prove me wrong because I was like, if he's at the 6 quarterback, or I'm talking about ADP quarterback rankings, I was like, if he's the 6 quarterback going, that's where I would like him. But Joe Burrow, he's kind of doing some work. What you say, Kraft, man?
Yeah, I got him in my main league, and he's been hot. And I forget who he has this week. I want to say I had to look it up, but yeah, he's pretty much been incredible. And when Jamar Chase comes back, when Jamar Chase is in the lineup, he's as solid as anybody you're going to find out there. And for some reason, they got Kansas City's number.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Some teams just own other teams, and Cincinnati just owns Kansas City right now.
That 3 in a row? Didn't they beat them twice last year? Once in the regular season, once in the playoffs.
Playoffs. Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Patty Mahomes just can't get over the hump, man.
I'm sure they'll be all right.
The quarterback 3 on the week was old Geno Smith, and I guess my question to y'all really is like not even a fantasy question. This is just an NFL question. I think we're gonna see Geno Smith here for the next few years. I say I think they'll probably. I'm not sure what his contract looks like, but I can see him starting for Seattle from here on out. This dude has looked good this year. He has definitely proved me wrong. Proved a lot of people wrong. He definitely kept this offense relevant. But more than that, this dude's winning football games. I probably said this a few episodes in a row. Shout out to Mudbutt for calling out that sleeping giant out there, the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith here for a few years. What do you say, Kraft?
I've always said it. I think that's why I was real high on Kenneth Walker and DK Metcalf and stuff like that because, it's not going to get any worse. It's either Geno or if they just hit some stud quarterback in a fourth round of the draft or something that pans out. But I don't think they'll be drafting one next year. They got all of Denver's first rounders.
Yeah, man, what a trade. Me and Chris was talking about it before we even hopped on the pod. Chris, Geno Smith for a few years. What you say, man?
Yeah, my thing is if you sign a quarterback, they gonna have to beat Geno Smith out. Because Geno Smith has definitely earned to be under that center. I've always thought of Geno Smith as one of the biggest busts to me as a player. And now, he's stepped in and he is performing. I think he's earned his time here. And like you said, it can't really get any worse.
Man, that trade just looks so crazy right now, man. Geno Smith's playing way better than Russ. You just took all their picks. They got a high draft pick going into next year for sure. I wouldn't spend it on a quarterback. I'd just spend it on, heck, I'd probably go, I don't even know what I'd do, man. Go get you a difference maker on the D-line or something, man.
Maybe like a middle linebacker or something like that. Or a big guy on defensive line, edge rush.
Pete Carroll wants to build that defense up a little bit. Jared Goff, another big week. Jared Goff's been pretty solid this year. He's definitely had some bad weeks, but dang, he sure has had his good weeks. But that's more like a super flex play, is what I'm saying. But Jared Goff has definitely had some pretty good weeks this year. We said it last podcast. I wouldn't draft a quarterback if I was Detroit. I would just keep on doing what I'm doing, rolling with what I rolled. Anything to say about Goff?
That was our FanDuel guy. And you had him anyway, and he performed. They got Minnesota this week. That's gonna. I already seen the over under in that game's like 53 or 54. So it might be another great week and they're playing in. That's the thing I noticed about Jared Goff when they play in Detroit. That's great for Jared Goff. His like home road splits are a lot different, but when they're in Detroit, he's solid.
Yeah, agreed. Justin Fields, our boy Big Dunk, we was texting back and forth. He was like, we have a little joke in our crew. We're talking about you're eating tar. It's really like eating crow, but we just call it eating tar because me and Jordan Harris was like fucking up for, I don't know. Anyways, he was like, you're eating tar about Justin Fields. I was like, dude, I've been eating tar about Justin Fields for like weeks now. Dude, Justin Fields is the number 5 quarterback on the week, and he's the number 5 quarterback overall this year. Where we hadn't even talked about this, but where does this guy in like a dynasty ranking? Like this dude is I just can't even say off the top of my head. Like definitely got to be in the top 10, at least like the backside of the top 10, at the very least.
Would you draft him over Lamar?
In a dynasty startup
in
or
a startup? Yeah, in a startup.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I think I might would. It's tough though. I don't know.
I think it would depend on how my pick fell. If you fall at the back, in
Yeah,
some of these picks, and you can get, I don't know. That's a tough one.
I'm
But I
gonna
feel
have to
like
think about that one.
I drafted in our startup. I drafted Justin Fields, and I
Yeah.
traded him during the draft. I got 2 picks after that. I
That
got 2
might come
picks
back to
for him.
bite you.
Well, I mean, I got Jalen Hurts, so.
Yeah, he's not Jalen Hurts now. Ain't even.
And I had Lamar Jackson too. Shipped his ass off on Raymond Hurts.
Yeah, that's a
That was a
single
good
QB,
decision.
right?
And that's how I got
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs.
Oh,
yeah. Well, what you say, Kraft? Would you draft Justin Fields over Lamar Jackson in the startup?
well, hopefully we'll know next year if the Ravens go out and get a receiver or something.
Yeah.
Because if they
Yeah.
keep it the way it is right now, I mean, it's not like Chicago is loaded up with weapons for Fields to do his thing. But I mean, as far as the rushing upside goes, Justin Fields is actually better than Lamar rushing the football this year. So
I'll
it'd be tough.
yeah. I'll say this. I think maybe it's very debatable, but I think Justin Fields, he gotta. I hope he can just stay healthy. Is what I'm saying. This dude's definitely taking some hits this year. Some hits that Lamar usually. I mean, I know Lamar's he does seem to get injured and stuff every now and then, but he don't really take big hits from what I can tell. Justin Fields has taken some. But I think what might just put Justin Fields over the top in a decision like that is just the longevity. Not to say Lamar's old or anything, but Justin Fields has only been in the league. This is only his second year, so that's
Yeah,
just tough questions that we're gonna have to decide during the offseason.
yeah.
Know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know. Yeah, you don't want to like live in the moment too much, but
Right.
because if Justin Fields is on a tear right now, but Lamar Jackson was the QB1 for like the first 5 weeks of the season. But when you do it at the start of the year, people just forget about it, and we kind of stick
Yeah.
where we're at. But if it was happening right now, then everybody'd be hot as hell on Lamar. So it's just, it might be just going through a slump. But one thing I do like about Justin Fields is that Chicago defense ain't gonna stop nobody, so they're gonna keep having to score, unlike Baltimore.
Right. Patrick Mahomes, he had the number 6 day. Took a loss in real football and the real stuff, but still number 1 quarterback in the league right now. The 7th of the day, though, Mike White. We talking about Mike White again. I could have won that game if what's his face Barrios would have caught that pass, that touchdown. What you think about Mike White? Eventually, here's how I view quarterbacks. Period. That when quarterbacks come into the league, they'll start off hot, then they'll get figured out for a little bit. If you can make that adjustment right then after that, and after they figure you out, can you adjust to keep having success? If Mike White can get to that point, maybe we could see him be with New York for a little while. But I don't know. If I was New York, I would try to go get another quarterback. But what do you think about Mike White? What do you say, Kraft?
I said about 2 weeks ago when he first started, or maybe last week when he had that good game. I'm with you. I think once there's enough film on this guy, there is some that break out kind of out of nowhere, but I would say the percentages lies with the quarterback's going to end up. And the scary thing about Mike White is he has one bad game, throws 3 interceptions. There's questioning if he's even a starter anymore. So it's just scary. So if I was in a dynasty league and I had like a Superflex dynasty and I got Mike White, I would just get rid of I'd sell high if you could.
Yeah, I'm with
Man,
you, Chris. What you say,
yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, I went and picked up Mike White. Like I said, I got Jalen Hurts. I dropped Matthew Stafford and went and got him. Like I said, if this dude sticks around, you might be able to sell him for a good little bit. But if anybody can on a team like can be set up to actually have a role to be able to stay, I think it's Mike White with the Jets because that defense is so good that they're in a lot of these games that they're playing. They had a chance to win this game.
Yeah.
Like he had them in this game right here. Barrios needs to catch the ball right there. stuff like that. But if anybody can thrive, it can be him, I feel like. But other than that, I think they should just go get another quarterback and just run with it.
Yeah.
Old
I
Tom
got
Brady.
a couple
Oh, go
things
for it.
here, Matt. But I got a couple things, like this week, Mike White, he threw the ball 57 times. That was more than anybody more than anybody. When Zach Wilson was in there, the last 2 games he played, he threw the ball 22 times, 25 times. So, and it was a game script type thing, but they definitely are slinging the rock a little bit more with Mike White in there.
Yeah. Heck, they was slinging it with old Flacco when he was in. So, it's like they want to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm. Got
Man,
to when you got Garrett Wilson out there.
Right.
I just can't wait to see it when Brees is back. When Brees Hall is back, they have to respect everything back there coming for them. Like, they have to respect this backfield at that point. Brees Hall's out there. I just want to see it, but I can see it now. Like you said, they're throwing the ball 50-something times a game. He had almost 300. He had 392 passing yards, a touchdown with that fantasy day. He already had, in PPR, he had 19 points. A throwing touchdown, he would have broke like 22, 23. It's a nice day. QB2, super flex.
Yeah. Tom Brady, he was having a terrible day and just kind of salvaged it towards the end of that game. Especially at the end, had a couple touchdown passes. I know one to the K. Dotton, I think it was, and then the other to Rashad White. But anything to say about any more of these quarterbacks before we move on to the running back spot?
Hell yeah, I got something to say.
Go for it.
Where's your boy, Deshaun Watson, at today?
He's rusty, man. He's rusty.
I got to tell y'all, man. I played against the guy. I was in 7th place. The guy that I was playing in Yahoo was in 6th place. He started Deshaun Watson over Justin Fields and Herbert this week.
I wouldn't have
done that.
I like Deshaun Watson, but I wouldn't have did that. I'll be honest with you.
I was like, please leave him in. Please leave him in. And once the game started, I was like, gotcha. Let's go.
I was saying, like, I wouldn't start Deshaun Watson, but I was like, maybe he could do something versus the Texans this week, even though he ain't played in 2 weeks. He couldn't. He looked bad.
Yep.
Needless to say, me and Kraft, man, we was pretty much saying this all year. The dude's definitely going to look rusty. So, he looked bad. I did take the Browns -7 and won that. Man, I went against the Browns defense at 2 different leagues, and it just kills me, man. Them dudes had like 30 plus. I was like, what in the fuck, man? Yep. Any other quarterbacks, Kraft, man?
No. We talked about Brady earlier, but I guess my question for Brady would just be real quick. If you're in a redraft league, you just dropping this guy?
Probably, yeah. I mean, there's definitely better options than Brady right now. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe depending on who you got on your team. If you got Godwin or Evans and you just want to have the stack, maybe, I don't know. But you're probably dropping him.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I feel like you could just stream every week and find a better option than Brady, like, consistently.
Man, Zamil in the Dynasty League that I'm in.
Mike White over Tom Brady at this point? Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
Like I would.
2 games.
I do. Now I do agree with that. I do agree that once there's more tape of this guy out there, like people are gonna figure it out. And he already makes mistakes as it is, but once there's some tape and stuff out there on they're literally gonna learn him. They're gonna be watching him hours and hours of this dude play.
Look, Kraft, I was in that Dynasty League. Zamil, he's competing. He's a top 2 guy, so he could definitely win. He had Lamar Jackson go down, but he has Justin Fields. I was like, I got a backup quarterback for you. I got you, Tom. And then I was like, I'll sell him to you for a second. And then he was like, man, I could probably get that kind of production off the waiver wire. And I was like, yeah, he probably could. He probably could. Couldn't even debate him on that one. So, yeah. But, hey, I mean, anything else to say about these?
No.
Quarterbacks?
Yeah. Not just a piece of news, not talking about one, but Chris had mentioned before the episode that Trevor Lawrence did come back into that game. He got hurt, and it looked like it was going to be bad, but he came back.
I thought he was done. I thought he was done.
Man, he's
not
just
just
tough, baby. Christian McCaffrey had the #1 running back day, and I think we kind of alluded to it in the news, but I mean, I was thinking things were not looking so good with Elijah Mitchell coming back. They was gonna get a lot of people involved. But now, like Elijah Mitchell's out. They're starting quarterbacks out.
The San Francisco curse.
Christian McCaffrey looking like just a awesome play at this point, especially to win it. I mean, if going through the playoffs and stuff, I don't know what their schedule looks like, but
it's very favorable.
Yep, Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas. So Christian McCaffrey to the moon.
For sure. And it don't matter with him if he did have bad matchups. I mean, 10 targets, if he's going to be catching the ball like that, he's really he's got a very, very high floor. But with Garoppolo going down, I think, it's a mixture of both. Maybe Purdy will drop off to him a little bit more, but also probably less scoring opportunities for him too. So, you got to look at it like that. But
true.
But Jordan Mason, though, for San Fran, if you just got an empty spot, I would like on your redraft or even Dynasty, go grab them. They're real. They're dropping like flies out there in San Fran. So
yeah, and they always dropping like flies in San Fran. So #2 running back Tony Pollard, man, this dude is just. He's the #9 running back in the league in PPR leagues. This dude, I look at his game log, man. This dude, man, other than like a single-digit performance versus the Giants in his last 5 out of 6 games, this dude's like double digits, including 2 30-point games and then a 24-point game yesterday, man. This dude's going off. That rushing game was working for the Cowboys. On Sunday night, I think it was. So, what do we do with Tony Pollard? I mean, like, let's just ask this from a dynasty perspective. It's like they still like to roll with Zeke a little bit-ish. I mean, basically what I'm asking is this a sell high kind of guy? Or we going to ride it out another year with Tony Pollard? Or what y'all think?
I like the way they're doing now. Yeah. What you got to say about it, Chris?
Yeah, I would hold him for sure. Like we've beaten this horse to death on this podcast talking about Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Some people over at the Cowboys organization are just gonna have to take the L on them paying Zeke instead of this guy. But I mean, I've talked about how high are we on Tony Pollard if he goes somewhere else. I mean, he just fits this offense so well. That's why I like Tony Pollard over Zeke. He fits the offense better. But as far as like fantasy-wise, I think it's gotten to the point where if you've got this dude and he's playing, he's in your lineup. He's in the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
100%. He's an RB1 on the year.
Yeah.
And like even in our last episode that we've recorded, we literally said this dude was one of the best value picks you got. In our startup draft, this dude went in the 13th round.
Man, and this is the running back 9. Man, I wish I could have got him. Yep, I'm with you, man. They say hold. I'm kind of with you. I mean, I would have to look at his contract situation and stuff like that, but I would say hold for the most part because he's rolling with this offense. So my JP Ryan, I mean, sheesh, this dude's had, since Mixon's done went down, a 30-point game, a 19-point game, a 21-point game. A couple weeks before that, Joe Mixon, he had those big weeks or whatever. So they're really getting the running back involved in Cincinnati right now. You know what's crazy about this is, if I'm not mistaken, at Oklahoma, P. Ryan was the starter, Mixon was the backup. And then they're in Cincinnati, and Mixon's the starter, and P. Ryan's the backup. It's just funny. But, yeah. P. Ryan, I mean, to me, that's a clear sell high at this point. If you could sell him, if anybody will pay anything for him, go ahead and just dish him on out. What you say, Crab?
Yeah, I think this will be the last time we talk about P. Ryan this year. I mean, like you said, if you could sell him now, but he's made it clear that he's on that level of like the Alexander Madison premier handcuff. Though he did,
Right.
and I think he's gonna hurt Mixon's value when he comes back the way he's been performing, because it ain't just been just luck of the draw that he's breaking off these big runs. If you watch the games, he's breaking 2 tackles every time he touches the ball. I mean, and it might just be fresh legs on the year, not getting, beat down every single game. But,
Yeah.
like I said, I think he's a premier handcuff. Like if you're in Dynasty and you want to grab P. Ryan, if you're a Mixon owner, wouldn't be the
Yeah.
worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I'm with you. DeAndre Swift, finally they gave this dude the ball. I just sold DeAndre Swift. So
Of course.
of course
Yeah.
that's it. And it's funny because I was like pretty dead set I'm holding, and then I sold him. I'm not upset with what I sold him for. Pacheco's been looking all right, and got a high first round pick. But Swift, finally, I mean, I don't really know what they was doing anyways, because even the past few weeks when he got the ball, he looked pretty good. Scored a touchdown in PPR leagues. He was got 21.1 fantasy points. So it was a high scoring game, and a lot of people got some work. So hopefully we're gonna see this from DeAndre Swift from here on out. They'll start giving him the ball, quit fucking around over there.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think about all this?
They're gonna end up on the 1 yard line, bro, every time, and Jamal Williams is just gonna get the ball and vulture DeAndre Swift. This is what's gonna happen. It's gotten to the point where it's happened so many times now that I'll bet my life that it'll happen at this point.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
It is.
Let's move on to your number 5. Your boy AJ Dillon. These past couple weeks has looked more like what we was kind of expecting from him all year. Kraft, your guy, what's going on?
He just looks like a totally different player, really. When I watched the games, he looked like he was just hadn't played football in a long time at the early part of the year. Now, last 2 games, he had 18 carries for 93 in this one, but it was the Bears defense. And, we, in all our FanDuel lineups, I think every single one of us had Aaron Jones, but he was banged up. He was in and out of that game, like back and forth. And A.J. Dillon, if Aaron Jones is out, A.J. Dillon's a premier play. But Aaron Jones is still the better running back in Green Bay.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
He had let me look at it again. He had 20, it was the RB9, 20 points in week 1. And then he just reeled off like 12 single digit games in a row or something like that. Past 2 weeks, he's looked back, and he looked good last year. So it's like, I mean, in the home league, David had AJ Dillon, and he was trying to get a haul for him, asking all kinds of crap for him. And then you see this year, he just put up. Man, it's like, dang, he should have sold for a little bit lower than what he was asking for, but. Well, I'm not going to say I'd sell AJ Dillon, honestly. Would just, maybe if somebody was willing to pay me a second for him or something, I would definitely dish him out. But I don't know, man. It's hard to just give up a running back for just one pick, knowing that he could possibly have some success. Because then next year, what do we think about AJ Dillon next year? Are we going to be sitting here thinking, I don't know, he could be all right? I mean, I think he might be okay.
I saw some news that Gutenkunst for the GM for Green Bay, he's saying that he's already wanting Rodgers back. So that tells me that they're wanting to compete again, which means Aaron Jones will probably be back. If they went the opposite direction, Aaron Jones would be gone, because he's that'd be like a salary dump for them. That'd be like number 1 priority would be get rid of Aaron Jones. But I sold AJ Dillon earlier in the year I sold AJ Dillon in a second for Dobbins. We'll see how that pans out. And One question I got to ask y'all about the Packers and A.J. Dillon. Is it the reason that he's starting to do better is because Green Bay's offense is getting rolling with Christian Watson and them boys, or are they starting to, or is it just a couple bad matchups? I mean, they played Philly last week. They got the Bears this week. He had a couple good matchups. So you think it was just that, or you think Green Bay's offense is just better? What do you think, Chris?
I mean, I think the offense is getting better for sure. I mean, I like Christian Watson better than any other person on that team. Like wide receiver wise, like to me, he's clearly Aaron Rodgers needs to be. He just target this dude like you did Devontae Adams. Throw it to this dude as many times as you can a game. Work him in. That where he carried that ball, that was insane. That was a hell of a play design, and he took off on that rush, and it was just like nobody's gonna catch him. The safety was literally right there to be able to make that stop, and he just burnt his ass.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon, man. I mean, but I'm in the predicament that I think that the Packers are gonna stick with AJ Dillon whenever they're post Aaron Jones is where I'm thinking they're gonna be. So, but I still think Aaron Jones is the better play. So that hurts Dillon's. But I feel like if you're stashing him for a few years, you might be all right. But then again, the way Aaron Jones plays, he might play for a few more years. And I definitely see the Packers hold on to him for that.
Yeah. Yep. It's tough. Josh Jacobs, another good week. We've tooted his boot for a couple weeks straight, so not much to say about Josh Jacobs except another good week, 20 points, number 2 running back on the year. Saquon, same old, Saquon, 19 points. They tied with Washington. Oh, man. I just hate ties, man. I just can't. It just drives me insane. You got anything you want to say on Saquon?
No, not really.
Old?
Yep, same old thing. He's been steady.
Good. Because I want to talk about this next one. Cam Akers had the number 8 day of the year. And if you could get anything for Cam Akers at this point, anything, you sell his ass right
I would take
now.
a third. Send me a third. I would.
I agree, Chris. I would take a third. I don't ever sell stuff for thirds. I take a third.
Like Cam Akers in the chat with the thighs. I was like, oh my god, bro. This dude's got 2 touch. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, no. This is a fluke. I guarantee you that this is a fluke.
But with that said, as much as his value has been dead all year, if I was out there, like, just looking for buy low people, I might would ship a third for Cam Akers and just see what happens next year. I mean,
and just see.
So it's like I would sell him for a third, hell yeah, but then I'd buy him for a third too. I'd be like, let me get that. Might go text Dunk right now, be like, got a third for you.
But no, once that off season hits, I got a third. Let me tell Kraft. Did you tell Kraft what this man offered me the other day?
I hadn't told him, man. But the trade deadline was yesterday, Kraft, and there was a lot of funny offers.
James Conner, and then I was like, I was just like, well, what you want for him? And then he said Madison. I said, I'll give you Madison.
Damn.
I took a picture of it and sent it to Matt. I was like, bro, this is what I'm having to deal with at the trade deadline. I'm having to deal with this shit.
Man, it's so funny, Kraft, because in our league yesterday, the trade deadline was here. There was so many lowballing from like multiple people yesterday. It was hilarious, man. Everybody's like, I want this, I want that. But then you're like, well, what do you want to give? They talk about bare minimum, like, I ain't helping you none type deal. It was hilarious yesterday. But I got to admit, the Madison for Connor, that was the funniest one of the day. I mean, I was dead when I saw that one.
No, I don't know about that because we sidetracking, but I definitely want to bring up that one that David sent. What is that?
Shit, why are you looking for that, Chris? I offered my brother one in Superflex. I offered him Russ and a first for Collar. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Then it sat in the inbox for like 2 weeks. I was like, what the hell? He's like, I sobered up.
So David in our group chat came at Matt and was like, I'm about to send you some heat, Matt. So I messaged Matt a few minutes afterward. I was like, it was like, what kind of heat did this injure? He said, man, some bullshit. And then Matt took a picture of it and sent it in the group chat and was like, if y'all think about sending me shit like this, just don't. Just don't. He offered him Chris Godwin and a 2023 second, which would be like the 16th pick,
Yeah.
for Javonte Williams and a 2024 first.
He was like, "This is a league-winning move, Matt."
He literally said that. He said this is the league winning move.
Oh man,
And David, I know you were just fucking. I don't know. I don't know if you're fucking around. I need
That's
to
the
know if you're
thing.
fucking around, man.
He's
I
done
don't
so
know.
much crazy stuff where you would think he was probably just playing around, but it's like he's done so many bad trades. It's like I think he was being serious because he
Even
sent
though
that
you
to me
have
a
the
little while
playoff,
earlier.
we won the bet with Jordan, David. Either way, because Jordan team's ass. He's got to get tatted.
Right. Zeke had the number 9 day. Like I said, that running game was moving on. I would definitely, you know how I feel about Zeke. I would definitely try to sell him if I could. I don't know if people would be willing to buy him, really, though. Then the number 10 guy was old Zenovian Knight. So, heck, if you could get anything out of him, I'd sell him because you know he ain't gonna be part of the picture next year. So, but yeah, man. Go
I
ahead,
did
Chris.
check. Tony Pollard is going to be a free agent next season.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So,
Ooh, Jerry Jones, you got decisions to make, motherfucker.
Yep.
It's time to cut ties with Zeke. That's what I say. It's time to move on. I mean, I know Zeke's got that contract. Whatever. I know we said something, whatever the contract is, but I know it was
2026.
They'll keep Pollard.
Got to keep Pollard, man. Got to. But yeah, man. Just other notables like James Cook. He had the number 12 day. His brother had the 13th day. Pacheco 14, Rashad 15, Fournette 16. Any running backs to talk about, Kraft man?
You know, not really. Damian Pierce he was RB22, 18 for 73. We all talked about him saying if we start him against Cleveland, he was decent enough to throw in your lineup that week, but
he was RB20 in PPR leagues ahead of Austin Eckler.
Yeah. Eckler had a bad day, but I don't know. I'm not looking into that. But that Chargers team right there, they look bad. Chargers look bad.
That Chargers team is a conundrum, man. No doubt about it. I was high on them dudes.
Most overrated team in the NFL. They're the new Cowboys, man. They're gonna come out next year and they're gonna say, "Oh." I think the start of this year, I remember looking at the power rankings before the year started. They were number 3.
Yeah, I probably would have had them there too.
The Packers
I ain't doing it next year.
Too, so can't say that much about them. Yeah, I don't know about it. Them Chargers, their defenses, they have so many good names. Khalil Mack, Derwin James. And they signed the cornerback from the Patriots. He's been hurt for pretty much all year, but they got big names on defense, but they can't do nothing with it. They can't stop the run at all.
They're overrated, man. I won't rank them that high next year. I ain't got no faith in them. Let's move on to these wide receivers, man, because the number 1 wide receiver, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Before when we was doing our redraft rankings, Kraft, I was saying Devontae Adams. This dude is not about to get the volume. His production is not going to be sustained. Number 1 day yesterday. Wide receiver 2 right now in PPR leagues. This dude's going off dead wrong about this guy. This dude's just great. There's just no doubt about it. This dude's just great. I mean, what else is there to say? Graf, what you got to say about him?
Shit, 135 targets already this year. That leads the league. And when you watch the games, it seems like it's like that, where there's just anytime they throw the ball to Devontae, good shit happens.
Right.
And, he's almost 15 yards per reception this year, too. I mean, that's way up. That's way up there.
Man, how many years?
I'm looking way down, man, and he's in like top 5 in that category too. So,
Man, Kraft, how many years does this dude have left in him?
I mean, he's never been. He's very athletic. Don't get me wrong. He can. When he came out of college, which was a long time ago now, his vert was like 49 inches or something crazy. But he's just a killer route runner, and I think that can last him for 3 more years.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy, man. I was fading him, and all I had to do to get him was give up a first to a kill. It would have been like the 107. I couldn't do it. I regret it. I regret it, man. Shit.
Yep.
I could have been winning the championship for sure, even with the injuries. Number 2 was Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris's guy, man. Chris, go ahead and just speak on your guy.
Yeah, man, the Sun God going out here got 2 touchdowns, man. This dude, he just gets so much volume that as long as he catches the ball, he's productive. Getting the touchdowns is just the icing on the cake, honestly. And they played that high over and under game. And they went out there and scored a bunch of points. And it definitely benefited Amon-Ra. This dude's got to be up there in some Dynasty rankings.
Dude.
Receiver rankings at this point.
For sure jumped up some, man. Dude, Chris, man, this dude right here in PPR league, this dude's the number 6 wide receiver in the league right now, man. I mean, this dude is up there. I said
at the beginning of the year that Amon-Ra would finish in the top 10. He's number 6 right now.
Yeah, man, I got him in a redraft league, and I stayed patient with him all the way through, and it's paid off. This dude at the end of the year, I mean, this dude's good. I know Jameson Williams is coming back next year, but like, I just don't think it affects Amon-Ra, man. I just think this dude's still gonna be good for a few years. I mean, I view him. I can't wait to do some Dynasty rankings. That's all I'm saying.
I know I'm definitely not underestimating Amon-Ra at all. I wasn't low on him to start the year, but I mean, this is incredible. He's a target hog, man. Every game. Yeah. Every time I do prize picks, his receptions is set at like 7, which is higher than like Justin Jefferson every week.
Yeah.
They know this man's getting targeted.
Whew, man, dang. Shoot, the next guy, I got him on my redraft team too. Both of these guys went off for me, and I needed it too. AJ Brown. AJ Brown had a couple touchdowns yesterday. The thing is about AJ Brown is I've said it, and I'm dead right about AJ Brown. This dude can go out there and get you 40. This dude can go out there and get you 1. I mean, this dude is boom bust all the way, but this dude's just great. He's just a great wide receiver. Right now, he's the number 5 guy. 31 points yesterday versus his old team too, man. Got a little bit of revenge. Like, how dare you trade that man for just 1 first round? Are you serious, man? Just a slap in the face.
Yep. Philly got a first round pick next year anyway. I think they're like the number 6 pick in the draft next year.
Yeah.
Because they got the Saints pick, don't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're set up. They're set up, man.
Gotta like what Philly's doing, no doubt. So, yeah, A.J. Brown balling out. Devontae Smith got in that action, too. Eagles are just on a roll right now. I mean, Super Bowl favorites, Kraft? What you say?
Did I like them? I really like Dallas right now, and that kills me to say because they are always look good in the regular season, then lose in the first round. But, San Fran, Philly, Dallas in the NFC, that's kind of the end of the line for me. But definitely Super Bowl contenders. They could easily get there.
Yeah, agreed, man. Yep. AJ Brown just a boss yesterday. Another guy who is just a bad man, Tyreek Hill. I mean, we've been talking about this dude, Tyreek Hill. He's a wide receiver 3 in our PPR league, Chris. I mean, I just don't even know what else to say about Tyreek Hill. I know Waddle's a little banged up. If Waddle goes down, maybe Tyreek Hill gets even more work with Tua, but I think Waddle's going to be playing from what I could understand. So Tyreek Hill balling out again. just same old shit with these guys, man. Those guys like that, Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's every week we say something about this dude. So there's nothing much for me to say about him this week.
Is he going to get 2,000?
I think it's possible. Yeah. How far is he away?
1379 right now.
I think he might get it, man. Shit, it's gonna be close. But what do you say, Kraft? Is he getting it?
I'm gonna be optimistic about it. I'm gonna say he's gonna get it.
Yeah, man. Tyreek Hill's just a beast, man. Number 5 guy yesterday, Tyler Lockett, and the number 6 guy is DK Metcalf. So these guys both got in on the action with Geno Smith versus that Rams defense. That's just the offense that's just totally clicking, man. Geno Smith, we talked about him earlier. He's balling. These two guys, I was dead wrong about Lockett. Let me just see where DK Metcalf's at. 15. So I'm a little bit wrong about Metcalf now, too. He was kind of hovering in that area where I had him. But these dudes are just going off, man. Heck, I was selling them, not buying into these guys at all at the beginning of the year. But here they are, proving me wrong.
Tyler Lockett's amazing. 5 straight games with a touchdown. When does that shit end?
Can't say, man. Can't say. Okay, go again. It ends when they play San Francisco. He'll score against Carolina. That's going to be a good game to watch. I can't wait to see him play San Francisco in a couple weeks.
No, we're going to shut that shit down, bro.
Shit.
Going shit.
Who, Carolina?
Yeah.
Man. I don't know, man.
We'll make a $10 bet on the pod. I bet you Tyler Lockett gets in the end zone next week, Chris.
Let's see. I think he's going to, too.
The number 7 guy was Terry McLaurin. You know, that's another guy that I was fading, but I was fading him mostly for Carson Wentz reasons. I thought it was a possibility he could have some good games with Wentz, but Heineke back in the building, rolling. Him and McLaurin just have some chemistry. So, what about Heineke? Are they ever just going to be like, yo, you're going to be the starter for a little while? I mean, I know he's just been starting this year, but like, you rolling with him next year?
They're probably not. They're probably not. Well, they're not going to have a high draft pick if they keep winning. So,
yeah.
Might have to.
Well, what you say about old Terry McLaurin then?
He just is what he is. I mean, he's kind of boom or bust for sure. With Heineke in, he is getting a lot more targets than he was at the start of the year with Wentz. But you know, he wide receiver 13 on the year. He's just fine, man. You just start him every week, and he's going to perform for you every now and again.
Wide receiver 13 on the year in PPR leagues right now. So
over Higgins. It don't feel like Terry McLaurin has done better than Higgins this year, but I guess he has.
I know, because Higgins has been on a roll, so except for maybe last game, but I don't really see no. Christian Watson, your guy. Kraft, I did a poll today. And I looked at it just a second ago. I said, who do you want in Dynasty? I said, do you want Christian Watson? Do you want Treylon Burks? Christian Watson's winning right now, so I was kind of surprised. I thought the Twitter community would still roll with Treylon as high as they was, but Christian Watson been going out. What you say?
I got to put this in perspective too with Christian Watson, just how explosive he is. That run that you were talking about earlier, Chris, when they handed him that jet sweep, he did tie it was the fastest run of the year, tied with Deshaun Jackson. I can't believe Deshaun Jackson was number 1, but yeah, Christian Watson, you know, last 3 weeks, he's topping out 6 targets every single week. He's had 21, 21, and 24 points on no more than 4 receptions in every one of them.
Yeah.
He's explosive, man. And when they build more chemistry and he's getting more targets, just watch out.
Man, next year, man, a whole year and then a whole camp with Aaron Rodgers, man. I can't wait till next year for these guys. I mean, same thing with old Romeo. I think there's just some. I said it maybe a couple weeks ago. It's not all bad for the Packers. I mean, they're young. They got some young receivers right now, but next year, another year under their belt, shoot, they might look all right. I think so. Christian Watson's a bad man. I mean, yeah, like I said, I did that poll. Like people want him over Treylon Burks right now, so I do too. I ain't really ever been too high on Burks, anyways. But Burks been looking okay lately. But another rookie, Garrett Wilson, number 9.
Jesus.
Who you want there? You want Christian Watson or Garrett Wilson?
I guess I want Garrett Wilson.
Same.
He had 15 targets last game, and his target share is just incredible. Elijah Moore is just a bum compared to Garrett Wilson now. Garrett Wilson just came in there and said, "Just move the hell out of the way. I'm the main wide receiver on this team. You can get traded, bitch." That's pretty much how that went.
Yep, I'm with you. I mean, I thought it would look a little bit different. I thought Elijah Moore was going to move to the slot, get some work, but that ain't happening. It's Garrett Wilson's team out there, wide receiver core out there. So, Chris, you want to say anything about Garrett Wilson? Or
I'm good.
So we'll move on. Stephon Diggs 10, Devontae 11, Keenan Allen 12, CD 13, Alex Pierce 14, Justin Pierce 15. Jamar Chase came back. He had the 17th day. Look for that to ramp on up though, I think. So but
no
yeah,
touchdowns.
man.
Still about 97 yards. So Jamar looked like he was back to his old ways. He didn't look injured at all.
So yeah, man, y'all want to touch on any of these receivers, or we good with it?
There's one I want to ask y'all about in Dynasty.
Go for it.
The second-year player, Devontae Smith. What is Devontae Smith's worth? Like, what player would you compare him to if you were going to make a trade in a Dynasty league right now?
Well, shoot, I was just trying to I was asking Micah Mitchell. He's got him in our league, and he said he'd be willing to sell Devontae Smith. But in my mind, I was like, I'm not willing to pay for Devontae Smith because I'm thinking, I know he's the wide receiver 21 this year, but I mean, he's on a good offense. Godwin?
Like Godwin or Smith?
Yeah,
Chris, what do you think?
I would probably rather have Godwin. Godwin's floor is better than Devontae Smith's floor.
Tom Brady be gone soon.
But that's the thing. That's the risk I'm going to take. I think Tom Brady might not be gone as soon as I was thinking. That divorce done shed some light on the situation. And you can say whatever you want about that Buccaneers offense in that situation. I still want Godwin no matter what. So,
yeah.
He
is wide receiver 21. Devontae Smith's wide receiver 21 on the year. He had a good week, but he still isn't even outperforming like Pittman. Ayuk is ahead of him this year. He's had – but I really think that Goddard being out is really helping his value right now.
But shoot, Goddard's – they're saying he's coming back week 15. Said he's already healthy, so seems like they just put him on IR for precaution reasons and to fuck me over in fantasy. So, I'll put it like this. I think it definitely takes a first rounder to get Devontae Smith, though, with his age. I don't think a second rounder can get it done.
Late first rounder, yeah. Would you trade a late first for Devontae Smith? I would seriously debate it.
You debate it. I just don't think I could, man.
If I had
especially in
first round picks, baby.
Yeah, like I got one that's gonna be like a 104, 105. Like I wouldn't dare trade it for Devontae Smith.
I got one that's gonna be the 101. The 101. I guarantee you it's gonna be the 101.
I'd hold on to that bitch forever. Shout out to David again. Keenan Allen, since he's been back, he's had 5 and 6 receptions. Keenan Allen. He was like one player I was saying long term I wouldn't want to mess with. But hey, for an end of the year run, if you're competing, I probably wouldn't mind having Keenan Allen. What you say about that, Kraft?
Yeah, I traded him. I traded for him in Average Joe's earlier. I think I traded Brian Robinson and Cortland Sutton for him earlier this year when he was injured. So I'm glad I did that, even though Robinson's been pretty stout. But I mean, that last game wasn't really what Keenan Allen does. He averaged like 15 yards per reception last game. He's more kind of closer to the line of scrimmage, but the targets are always going to be there for him. And he's about as solid as he's like a Chris Godwin, like we talk about a safe floor. When Keenan's healthy, that's about what you're going to get.
Yeah. Agreed. CeeDee Lamb just old steady Eddie, wide receiver 7. So
I'm
Alex
talking about
Pierce
Gabe.
had a good game. Russell who?
I want to talk about Gabe Davis. It's been a long time since he's done anything this year.
Man, I could have bought him yesterday if I wanted to, but I was like, I ain't buying Gabe Davis. And I was even thinking about, well, maybe for next year. And I was like, I don't want his ass. I'm just staying away from Gabe Davis. Go ahead and say what you got to say about him, though.
And that's what I was wanting to know was y'all's opinion on it, because it's been a long time since Gabe did anything. I mean, last week he scored. I'm in half PPR, but in full PPR he scored 9 points with a touchdown, 2 receptions, 7 targets. I mean, it's been in week 10 he had 21, week 11 he had 11 in a full PPR, which ain't much. You know, y'all still on just crazy boom or bust guy, or with Josh Allen's elbow the way it is and them running the ball a little bit more, is that kind of scaring you away from starting? Like, would you even start him in redraft right now if you had another option?
No,
Heck,
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Heck, on my redraft team, I would. But my thing is like, I think Gabe Davis might be a good buy low candidate. But I don't know if I'd want to deal with the headache of should I start him, should I not? Him going off on my bench, me starting him and goose egging. I just don't know if I want to. I don't know if I can mentally deal with those shenanigans, and I don't know if these walls in my apartment can deal with that shit because I'd be kicking the fuck out of them.
Yeah, this is perspective. Gabe Davis is only 3 points ahead on the year of DJ Moore this year. So Gabe Davis is not, we got to start. I don't know. That's why I wanted to ask y'all. It's tough because, like you said, if you bench him and he goes for 30 points, it sucks. But it's hard to know when to start him, man. It's like DJ Moore.
Just staying away from him, man. That's the way I feel about him. But also, if you feel like you want to buy low on him, I mean, go buy low on him. It should not cost much to get him, is what I say. I don't know if I would be willing to give up a second or something for him, though. But I don't know.
I traded him for Mixon earlier this year.
What? Who did that shit? Call him out.
Oh, Noah.
Well, Noah's been going off, so I can't say nothing about him.
This is in Dynasty, though. I traded him in Dynasty.
Oh. Well, tough. Any more wide receivers to go through?
Not really. Cortland Sutton sucked it up again, as usual.
Yep. I was gonna say something about some of these guys, but I done forgot. Yeah, T. Higgins. That's what I was looking for. He had number 31 wide receiver day, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. But you want to just? There's not really much to say about tight ends. They all fucking sucked. Cade Otton was the number 1 guy in PPR leagues. He had 14.8.
Yards did he have?
Say what?
And how many yards did he have with the number 1 tight end on the week? He had 28 yards.
28. 28 yards. Cade Otton. Basically, if you got in the end zone, you were a leader. Cade Otton, Greg Dulcich, Noah Fant.
10 targets, too, though. 10 targets for 28 yards.
Greg Dulcich might be a little difference maker at the tight end position. A little something. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be special or nothing, but if you're getting target work, target share like that.
I just read that they've been utilizing this week Greg Dulcich in a wide receiver role as well as playing tight end.
Yeah.
So
whatever they're doing in Denver ain't fucking working. It don't matter.
I mean, I don't think it matters as long as Russell Wilson's out there throwing the ball. Let's ride.
Russ in that bench role. Sit him over there.
I want to say Evan Ingram had a touchdown. Taysom Hill, not much from the tight end spot. Komet had a nice little day. He just didn't get in the end zone. That was only his thing.
I gotta look something up, man. Gotta look something up because we were high on Komet at the start of the year, remember? And it looked terrible. He's tight end 9 now, so we didn't completely miss.
Didn't all the way miss. I'll say that, but man, he was so bad at the beginning of the year. It's like I can't take credit for him being 9 right now.
He literally goose eggs you the first 2 games.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, all he needs is 10 more points to be the wide receiver 4. 10 more points.
But the
tight end 4.
I asked Dunk yesterday what it would take to get Komet. This dude said Goddard and some picks.
God, come on, man.
I told you, I forgot about that one. I'm telling you, man, I saw so many funny ones yesterday, man. I'm going to have to remember this when the next trade deadline comes. We'll have to do a little trade deadline show for all the funny offers. Because that shit was hilarious, man. Anything y'all want to touch on before we just head on out of here? We went through all these, leaders, talked about some guys who didn't do so well. Just pretty much recap week 13.
Yep. I think we covered it pretty well. And, if y'all have anything to say about just where the state of these teams are, if you learned anything over the weekend about any of just straight up from an NFL perspective, did anybody surprise you, or was it kind of by the book this weekend?
I'm going to say by the book, and the NFC South stinks. The fact that Tom Brady and them are in first place right now is mind-boggling to me. Wouldn't want to play Tom Brady in the first round of the playoffs, though, just because it's Tom Brady.
I think the only thing that needs to be said about that division is that in the division race, the Panthers are 3-1 against division opponents. That's all you have to say about that division to know that it's definitely the worst division in football.
Trash, man. My Falcons are just so trash. I get sick of y'all, man. I hate the Falcons. I always say I love the Falcons, but I hate the Falcons, man. I hate them. It made me so fucking mad.
Yeah. The only things I learned over the weekend is the 49ers defense can just stop anybody. I don't know if there's a team that, the Kansas City did it to them earlier this year, but as of late, 49ers defense and Dallas, good God, if you watch the Colts and the Cowboys game was close until the fourth quarter hit. And then Dallas just took the ball away like 4 straight possessions, and Matt Ryan, walked his old ass back to the sideline.
Yeah, that NFC East, tight. That's a good division right there this year.
I thought the San Francisco game, I thought the first play from scrimmage when Sherfield literally caught the touchdown, I was like, oh shit, this is about to be a high-scoring game. After that, they shut them down.
Yeah, that game was closer than the score indicated. For sure.
Yeah. Tua, he got beat up a little bit in that one. He made a couple bad decisions in that one too.
Yeah, big time. Well, shoot, man, I say we wrap it on up. Chris, your best description on what the fuck we got going on, man. What can you tell the people?
All right, so tonight we this was like our first live Twitch of the podcast of us actually doing it. So if you caught it live, you don't have to wait for us to edit it and put it out on our platforms like iOS and Spotify, stuff like that. Also, if you want to catch this version of the podcast where you can see us actually talking to each other, I'm going to be putting this on YouTube shortly after we get done here. So all of our VODs, you'll be able to just watch on YouTube. You'll also be able to watch them on Twitch, but I'm going to put it on YouTube as well, just because that's just the easiest thing to do.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I'm going to put everything in the description. Everything. Join the Discord, man. Hop on the Discord. Interact with us. It's all about fantasy. It's all about gambling with us. We just pretty much have a conversation about the fake stuff. That's all we do. We're not in here overcomplicating things. We're not the experts. We're just your boys. We're just your peers talking about the fake stuff. Craftman, you got anything to say?
Yeah, if this is the first episode y'all have listened to with us, don't make it your last, and go back to over the weekend. We had some good. Re-listen to our episodes. If you want to hear Matt cussing out Russell Wilson and Zach Wilson for about 20 minutes straight, that's the ones you want to listen to, because I was cracking the hell up today in the UPS truck. I was like, Matt is going off on them boys.
It's just fun to bash on Russell Wilson right now, man. That dude, man. I just can't get over him, man. He's got a screw loose. There's something wrong with that guy at this point. Same with Zach Wilson too, man. The Wilson brothers family. But yeah, man. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Add us all on Twitter. Shoot, even the crab man got on today. He's on these Twitter streets. So, but it's all in the description. I will make sure it's all there. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Keep on doing it. Tell a friend, tell a hoe. But we out. Peace.
See y'all.